Okay guys, so today we have the I-153 Chaika with a it being a 20-minute video. I wanted to get to the fun parts and then the interesting thing that occurred. Now, I haven't been seeing too many of the I-153s, and I don't know why. They are a great aircraft, extremely maneuverable, and they pack a punch, even though their little 7.7s aren't the most powerful. They are still quite good. As you can see, I am now diving into battle to engage an I-15 and Lag 3. About to see what makes the I-153 such a lethal little fighter. As you can see, it has a ridiculous... It turns on a dime and can remove parts of aircraft, even though it does not have a very powerful gun. That buffalo is going to die. I've knocked off his wing. It's just a matter of getting my kill. And there. He has just hit the ground and he is gone. I'm now going to fast forward to the second kill, which will be against a Gladiator Mark II. This kill was quite enjoyable as it happened very quickly, in part due to the mistake on the Gladiator pilot. And here it comes, and I open fire and blast the wing right off the Gladiator. This is my final kill, and noticing that there are very few enemies left, I decide to take up chase of this F2A even though I know that it is hopeless. There is a Nimrod, but he is soon to be gone as there is an I-16 thoroughly shooting him up. I decide to just follow this river and maybe have some fun with my vehicle. As I realize that there is just an OS2U and a F2A, I realize that, well, I'm not to go and fly low and have some fun with an extremely maneuverable biplane. Now, this is a biplane, and it's quite fast for a biplane, but it still is not capable of competing with World War II monoplanes. It maxes out at just over 270 miles per hour, which is sufficient for catching most biplanes, but not for catching most monowing fighters. But this thing shines with its turning capability. It will make a full 360-degree turn in under 14 seconds. Now I apologize for there being no sound from the game. My speaker was not working when I was recording this video. I had to check and see if I can do anything with my 7.7s against a light tank, knowing that it can be done with a 50 cal, but not with 7.7s. As I go up, I realize I might just have to have something as the only player left is just running. And I see this hangar and wonder if there is an opening on the other side so that I can fly through it. So I bank around, do a full 180-degree turn to see if it is, and it isn't. At this point, I decide to go up and go for a landing. Now this wasn't out of necessity, this was out of just fun. My aim is to go through the hangar, and as you can see, going through the hangar was a success. It wasn't until I got out of the hangar that, well, that happened. Now, I should be dead, but I haven't crashed, and it is just a soft landing. So there is a chance that I could survive this. And realizing that, well, I'm a plane, I can't back up, and see what happens. Well, that happened. I am now inside the hangar. For the front section of my aircraft is in the hangar. I'm now going to gun my engine to see if I can get myself through the hangar. As you can see right there, there is the rest of my aircraft. I gun my engine, and, well, I go through the wall. And there's the tip of my wing as I manage to get myself out the building. And finally, the building spits my plane out, and I am capable of taxiing onto the runway. Now, there was one person watching me, and he was quite impressed with what was going on, as this little aircraft had just somehow survived that, and he'd watched me go through that hangar the way you just watched me do. Now, I'm critically damaged and I can't repair on this airfield, so I decide that I'm going to have to somehow take off and head back to base. You may not know this, but my engine was damaged, my wing was damaged, and I had sufficient. So I decide I'm just going to gun my engine and see what happens. Gun my engine, off I go. The plane goes, I struggle to make it. At this point, I retract my landing gear and attempt to make it back to base. Now, I did almost make it back to base, and I would have made it, but the last guy was finally killed, and the game ended before I could make it. Now, right after the game ended, I spun out of control and crashed my vehicle, unfortunately. But this was still one of the funnest rounds I've had, in that I've got 2 aircraft kills in an aircraft I don't fly all that often, and that little glitch happened that was probably the most. Now, as you can see, I am working my way to race against time before the last guy dies, and the game is over. battlefield. The last guy is shot down, and I managed to arrive before the game ends. And as you can see, the game is ending. And right here, I take a turn for the worst. Thank you for watching. This is my first video, so leave comments on how I could make next ones better, and possibly what plane you might want it, or tank you want to see.